social media changed from social media to interest media.
And when you talk about growth on social media, would like growth in audience growth in content, like what is before growth meant on followers?
I find the best frame to realize is that people don't care.
So your goal is growth, but not fame.
Yes. Every time you post something, Instagram sends it to buckets of people.
So I'm on your social media right now. 852,000 views, 1.7 million views, 156,000 views, 3 videos. Building ReadyCut in public, 30 days.
Yep.
How'd you do this? Just jumping right in.
10 years of working in social media, building everybody else's personal brand. December 2025, I finally decided to start clicking posts myself. Always wanted to be a behind the scenes person. Never wanted to be self-promotional. I think that there's a lot of baggage that comes with social media, just how it's evolved over the years. But about a year ago, or let's say 3 years ago, social media changed from social media to interest media, as you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the rise of TikTok. The TikTok algorithm changed everything, where they realized people are interested in following their interests, less about their friends. So now you can still see your friends, obviously, but you're more likely to see things you're interested in. And that switch for me, I saw what it did for my clients. They became absolute magnets for opportunity, and I wanted to get a part of that.
So you're building your own personal brand?
So I'm building my own personal brand.
And this channel that you just started, 27,000 followers, does followers even mean anything anymore?
I don't think so. It's always going to give you some credibility.
Right.
So when someone lands on your profile, are they likely to click follow? But it doesn't matter on a post by post basis, because the person that clicks post from a new account has the same ability to reach mass market as a person who has a very large following.
And right now we're in a 30-day series.
Yeah, right in the middle.
You started July 1st?
Well, ironically, I started it in April, and my wife was 8 months pregnant. And I said, I really have to launch this. Like, this is the series is to build a business to solve a problem that I have myself. All my clients have this problem. Most small business owners have this problem. I said, Stephanie, I got to launch this. Like, if you don't mind, I'm going to launch this series. I'm going to be working my tail off to get it out. And then ideally it'll end. 1 week will pass, and then our baby will arrive. And we can have this, I can have all the data so that when I come back, I'll build it. Right. As you know, babies don't wait for anything. She came 3 weeks early. I clicked pause on day 11, took 2 months off, obviously to support my wife and help raise our daughter. And then I restarted again. So technically it's much longer than 30 days, but it is a 30-day series on social media.
So then you restarted it July 1st? July
1st. Yep. So I started back on day 12, warmed it up, and ironically, the algorithms changed. So I'm learning some new things, but we're right back into it. So I'm really excited about it.
When you talk about algorithms change, what do you mean by that?
So recently, if you follow Adam Mosseri, the founder of Instagram, or not the founder, sorry, the CEO of Instagram, he'll release like when they make algorithm updates, and they recently released an algorithm update. The most valuable metric that they're taking into account now is shares. So you're in your best bet if you're trying to grow on social media. It's in your best interest to make shareable content. And I think that's why my first post did very well. There are several reasons why the day one post went really well, and we can get right into the tactics here in a minute. But in my opinion, social media is a game of formats. And if your goal is to grow on social media, because not everybody's goal is to grow, I want to make that clear. But if it is, it's in your best interest to make your content into the formats that do well. So I liken it to golf and or fitness, whatever you want to say. You're not going to be good at golf the first time you swing a club. There are certain styles, everything from the clothing you have to wear in golf to how you get to the golf course, to practice, to all the different ways to swing a club, the different parts of driving, iron shots, chipping, putting. Social media is very much like that. And I'll get into some analogies and how I use that to help people understand how to approach social media from a business perspective.
Yeah. And I guess you've been doing it for the last 10 years.
Yep.
I mean, I can understand why people don't do it because like you have to, and I think the analogy with the golf is a perfect one. You can have an amazing driver, but your short game's awful. So you
Yep.
got to practice your whole game. And when you start social media, I'm just thinking about my first few posts, how cringy they were,
Oh yeah.
how hard they were. And I'm like, you know, I wasn't, I mean, I'm 38 years old. I wasn't brought up with the phone the way that you can just talk and, in the camera and articulate your thoughts in less than 30 seconds with a hook. And like, it was so awkward for me. Um, is that what you teach people too? Is like how to approach the camera, the display? Like there's a whole bunch of different steps that go into executing that. And when you talk about growth on social media, would like growth in audience growth in content, like what is before growth meant on followers, like had the most followers, had the most connections, whatnot. With this interest media, what does growth even mean? Just more views on your post to get
Yeah.
a bigger audience?
Good question. So I'll hit the first one first, related to call it golf. Let's stick with golf
Yeah.
for now because it works well. Mindset is a massive thing, as you know, in business and entrepreneurship, but especially in social media, because as I mentioned, there's a lot of baggage that comes with social media. People have beliefs about it. It is really, really hard to click post.
Yeah.
There are so much, we all have these deep rooted insecurities about being seen, about being judged. I'd be lying if I said that wasn't one of the reasons why I never started in the 10 years I did, because the fear of not feeling like, oh, I want to speak on entrepreneurship, but I'm not a billionaire. So it's like, how can I have credibility speaking about entrepreneurship while not being Ray Dalio or, some of these heavy hitters?
And you had a bigger judgment because you're teaching clients.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work for you, you're like,
Exactly.
oh shit, like, do I feel like a fraud and then bought like all the other stuff that goes with
1000%.
it? Yeah.
Limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
So all those things. And I actually did a TED talk on limiting beliefs, TEDx talk, and just talked about my own journey to hopefully help people with their limiting beliefs. But once you get over that, and however you need to get over that, I find the best frame to realize is that people don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about anything but themselves.
Right.
Obviously, we care about our families, but they will judge in the first post.
Yeah.
The second post, they'll judge less. Third, fourth, fifth. By the 10th post, they're not judging you. By the 100th post, they're asking you how you did it.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
yeah, try to get over those limiting beliefs and realize that, like, if you post something that flops, you get 50 views, only 50 people saw it.
Right.
And who cares?
Right.
So, I mean, when it was social media, you used to really have to care about what you posted because people who followed you, everybody would see that. So you had to be really like, I got to make sure this is good. I got to make sure it represents me well. Whatever the goal is, I want to make sure it reaches those things. But nowadays, it'll just flop, and that doesn't affect anybody. So try to get over those limiting beliefs if social media is
Because the
something.
algorithm is taking your content, let's say it's entrepreneurial content, and it's just pushing to people who find that interesting.
Exactly. So first and foremost, if someone wants to get started, start a fresh account. If you try to activate an account you started in 2014 with your friends from high school, your whole algorithm has learned you as not only past versions of yourself, but it's judging all the people who follow you. What do they like? It's going to build a profile for you in the back end, and it's going to serve that type of content. So often I see people who want to start a new endeavor and they start with their personal account they've been using for 10 years and their posts all flop because it's got, your friends from high school. It's got some people you met traveling at a vacation. It's got your aunts and uncles who all aren't into business exits, right? So if you post something about business exits, they're going to scroll right past it because they're not interested. They might like you, so they'll throw you a like. But because they're not interested, the algorithm read that as this is not worth showing more people. So therefore, it'll stagnate the views. Every time you post something, Instagram sends it to buckets of people. So you'll see when you start out, you will probably get 200 views on any of your posts. The reason for that is it's a test market. It'll send it to 200 people who have that interest. Based on how they interact, if they like, save, share, or more importantly, watch it through the end, based on how well that does, they'll show it to 200 more, and so on and so forth. So you will see your view counts stop at 200. You will see your view counts stop at around 600. you'll see your view counts to like 1,500. And then if it breaks the 1,500, it's likely going to go to 15,000 or 20,000. And that's all based on an algorithmic evaluation of how valuable that piece of content was to the people that the algorithm has deemed interested in what you do. I hope I didn't lose people there.
No, that's perfect.
But that's how I explain it. So
Yeah.
your best interest is to start from scratch.
Right.
The other thing about starting from scratch is when you start from scratch, you have no audience. So the algorithm is literally serving it to people saying, hey, check this out. So the algorithm is working for you 24/7, but never more than in the very beginning. So what I did was I started one, it completely flopped. I did a bad job. I made bad content. I had insecurities about posting and that all happened. But what I did was I learned 10 lessons about what works and what doesn't, deleted that, started a new one, boom, took off right away.
What were the few lessons that you learned?
So that's the tactics.
Okay.
So social media is a game of formats, as I mentioned. So talking head format, in my opinion, is the most authentic to building a personal brand. So I focus on founder-led, talking head, personal brands. That's my niche. Not every single post has to be talking head, but that is the primary mover because there is nothing more authentic than a video nothing more authentic than connecting with someone in person.
And what's a talking head?
Talking head is a video of you talking where it might have supporting elements of editing, but it's largely you talking to the camera. So people can see your face, they can read your lips, they can feel your vibe, and they can hear your words. That to me is the most authentic way to build a personal brand because let's say you tried to build a personal brand on Twitter or X, it's text based. People have to read. They're not completely familiar with who you are. They don't understand the nuances of communication from reading. People can use AI to write text. So it's an inauthentic way to build a personal brand. You can build a personal brand that way, but it's totally different than the connection that comes from the parasocial relationship of watching you speak, hearing the words, and taking in your vibe and your aura. So I think the talking head video is the most authentic. That's why I focus on that because I'm trying to build a personal brand.
Why a personal brand? What's up?
Good question. When you get into social media, and actually this gets into our list, so why don't I just get right into it? And I think I missed one of your other questions, but that we can come back to it.
Okay.
I always try to think, what's your goal? My goal in social media is to attract opportunity. I would love to work with other entrepreneurs on investments, deals, building businesses, and any brand partnerships that align with the person that I am. So that is my goal. So I think it's really important for people to think about that. The coffee shop on the corner of X Street and X Street, that's probably not going to be their goal. Their goal would be much more locally focused to attract Ottawa-based residents to come to their coffee shop. So considering what your goal is will dictate the type of things that you post. Anyway, my goal is to grow as large as I can. So my goal is to create content that is growth oriented, getting more views, bringing more people into my ecosystem. I know it sounds trivial, but that actually matters in considering what your goal is because again, local businesses have a completely different goal.
I get it.
If I had a business where my goal is to only get more clients, like I'm a mortgage broker, I want to get more mortgage clients in Ottawa. Your goal is not mass growth. Your goal is Ottawa market, is homeowners. Your goal is finding that specific target audience to drive leads for your business. So again, that's important to note. That's not my goal. I'm looking to build businesses off of social media, not directly by finding my target audience on social media.
Okay.
So that's what I would recommend. Start a fresh account. Think about what your goal is. I know it sounds trivial, but it's important to actually ask yourself that. Because if you go around aimlessly, you're going to get aimless results and that's okay, but it's not ideal. Number 2, commit to 5 years. It's like golf, like we were talking about, you can't expect to be good at golf the first time you swing a club. Just like golf, some people are going to be way better the first time than others. Same as social media. Some people are going to be great at it. Some people are going to really suck, but you got to commit that it's a 5-year journey. You're creating a body of work. It's not about one post, 2 posts. You're creating a brand and that is your personal brand. So you got to be in it for the long run, because it's going to take time to learn. And then once you're good, it's going to take time to use it to your advantage. So got to be 5 years. I committed to 5 years with my wife. We had a conversation about me actually going down this path, because there are some downsides of social media, downsides of visibility, especially when you do get larger. So we had a conversation about if that was a good fit for our family based on the goals. And we decided that it is, but we decided it's not a forever goal, and it's not fame I'm looking for, or infamy. A lot of people want that. That is not the goal. So those things were important in getting started, to make sure that it aligns with your beliefs.
And if we dissect that a little bit, so your goal is growth, but not fame.
Yes.
And there's a lot of negatives that come with social media and you're conscious about it.
Yeah.
So what did you put in place with your wife, or, before you even started? Was there an agreement in place of maybe not posting whoever, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's career oriented, my social media endeavor, and business focused. So that means that it's not a lifestyle social media account. We're not showing our trip to the cottage, the car, the house, the kids, the wife, like the lifestyle based influencer, Love Island. Here's what I had for breakfast today. Like all these things. It'll never be that level of content. If you don't know me, you probably don't know that I'm based in Ottawa, let alone you'll know I'm Canadian probably from my accent, and I'll refer to Canada often. But my whole goal is that it's general speaking and opportunity focused. I'm building an audience for a purpose to attract opportunity. Like I said, my goal. I'm not trying to get fame, trying to get followers, trying to get, like brand deals from clothing and stuff like that.
Right. So you have to get alignment with your family for sure.
First and foremost. Yeah.
And 5 years, holy macaroni.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot, but it comes quick. And
what's the consistency of the posting for 5 years? Is it like daily?
I do series. So I'll go on a 30-day series where I'm posting actually 2 times a day for 30 days, which is insane. It's so much work for me even. So I definitely don't recommend that for people. But then I'll take big breaks. And luckily, because it's interest-based, your content will continue to get pushed. So no one will know that I'm taking a break. And I like the concept of series because it creates like a Netflix show.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of the series approach. It works for me just with my own beliefs and what I like to follow. So I figure I'll produce in that cadence as well.
And I don't want to, you can keep on going on your points. I don't want to enter.
No, that's great. If you have follow-up questions, like whatever your audience would like to hear, I'm happy to hear that. The third thing is consider, so like I'm going to go a little more skewed into, I forgot to mention, I'm talking about Instagram. I think Instagram is king for building a personal brand. Of course, there's other platforms you can use social media for. But as I talk here, it's going to be skewed towards creator, founder, business owner, entrepreneur style. Instagram-based content is generally what I'm getting into, which I think is king for building a personal brand. You're building your audience brick by brick. And so what that means is don't consider like I'm trying to get followers, or I'm trying to try and get leads for my business. Try and think about, I'm building an audience, literally brick by brick. So the words that you use and the types of posts that you post, the value that you're delivering in the post, imagine as if your audience is out there and you're calling them out like, hey, you come listen to this. So you will hear me say creators, founders, and entrepreneurs very often in my content, because if you are a creator, a founder, or entrepreneur, you hear that and you're automatically attracted.
Yeah, I'm attracted to it.
This is the Alex Hormozy ads framework, right? It's the call out. It's like, if you're an entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. So you're building your audience brick by brick. So think about the things that your audience does, their demographics, all, like if you've ever ran an ad before, all the things you think about in an ad, your target audience demographic, how old they are, what they like, what they do for fun, what they do for work, generally their income levels, socioeconomic, even in some business cases, it matters like where they live, geographic, right? So build those things into your audience. So literally talk about them, address them, speak to them. That's how you're building your audience. and you're building an audience like it's a house, or like I said, brick by brick, like this pyramid, you're not clicking post every time hoping to get more and more views. Think about it. Your goal is to build the audience. Because if you want to do a brand deal or build a business, they want to know about your audience. Hate to break it to influencers. They don't care about you. They care about the people who follow you. So let's say you are a 25-year-old young professional woman who wants to transition out of the 9 to 5 and launch her own yoga career, yoga studio. Start talking directly to that person that you are. So there are so many women that are in careers early in their careers that they don't like, men too, but let's speak about women here, that would love to open up a yoga studio and live that like boutique fitness life. So start literally making content directly to that person. In doing so, Lululemon will see that you have a whole audience of 25 to 35-year-old women who like yoga, and they'll reach out to you and say, hey, we would love for you to do a post about this. We'll give you $5,000 for that. Again, it's not because of you and who you are. It's the people that follow you are the value to the brand.
100%.
And I know you know a lot of these things. I hope I'm not.
No, I love it.
Preaching,
I love it. Let's keep on going.
Yeah, for sure. So we can talk about your audience as well, because I obviously want to pick your brain a lot about what you're doing. I love the concept of building something with the intention to sell it and thinking about that first. Like, speaking about that, you're already speaking to a really knowledgeable entrepreneur,
right?
Which is great because that's, again, your target audience in your business. I want to touch on that a little bit more. Like any business, your audience has a total addressable audience. So, in business, you'll think about the TAM, total addressable market. Anytime you're going to raise money from an investor, they're trying to determine what's the TAM. Is this even a big enough audience or market for me to invest in? And then what's the likelihood of this entrepreneur capturing any of that market? The same thing goes for audiences on social media. And why do I say that? You can build, and I encourage anyone with any interests to go down the path of social media. Just know that there is only so large of a total addressable market. Let me give you an example. My sister-in-law is a dentist, and she wants to create content to build her dental career and to build a personal brand around her work. She's an amazing dentist, and she's really affluent in social media, so she's going down that path. She started her new account under my advice. She's getting thousands of views, and she's waiting for that one to go viral. All of the content she's sharing are related to dental. They're teeth transformations, tips and tricks about dental. And I said to her, you have to be, first of all, very proud of how you're doing, because you're doing very well off the gun. But secondly, remember, the total addressable market of people interested in dental on social media is not large.
Right.
So you're already less likely to grow as fast as someone who's doing business, finance, fitness, these large addressable markets on social media. So keep that in mind and give yourself a break, where if the content, I worked with a woman before, not as a client, but just as an entrepreneur. She makes high-end products and services for piano refurbishing. So people who refurbish these beautiful pianos, much like this desk, she creates courses on how to do it, and she sells little products that you need for the piano. She has like 5,000 followers, and her business does like over $500,000 a year from social media being her largest customer acquisition. She gets hundreds of thousands of views on her videos, but her follower count's only 5,000 because the amount of people interested in piano refurbishing is just a small TAM, and that's totally okay.
And back to your sister-in-law. So she's a dentist, and the content she's putting out is around her practice. Is she trying to attract clients, or is she trying to be a influencer in the industry to other dentists?
She's trying to improve her career. So she's not clear on the direct goal from social media, but she is going for growth because she knows the opportunities that come with it. And this is my perspective. I think resumes are dead.
Yeah.
I think they've been dead for a while. Yeah. The concept of a career is even dead in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
Gaps in the resume and things, that's all dead.
Yeah.
I think proof of work is what matters. I could go to Tesla right now, not even show them a resume, but if I could show them a problem that they have and me solving it, they'll hire me on the spot.
Yeah.
The same thing goes for dental. The same thing goes for any career. If you can prove that you can do the thing that they're looking for, that is worth its weight in gold. And so social media is one way to show what you can do.
Mm.
ChatGPT killed resumes, but realistically, resumes were dead before that
Yeah.
because anybody can lie on a resume and your true self doesn't come through in a resume. So I think proof of work is your resume. Therefore, I think people should post content about whatever it is they do on any platform. If you're a developer, GitHub. If you're a writer, Substack, X, LinkedIn. If you're anything else, Instagram, video content's applicable to all things. But the proof of work becomes your resume. And I think in the case of my sister-in-law, that's what she's doing. She's essentially showcasing her skills, what she can do, and she's with the intention of hopefully getting brand deals, clients, opportunities for growth, etc.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because just going into that field, I was just thinking, I'm like, if you're growing your own business, I don't see people, I wouldn't be interested in how the teeth are, so I wouldn't go to her practice because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was another dentist, I'd be like, wow, she's doing a procedure that makes a lot more sense. Maybe it can make me better. And maybe there's a master class around how she does a certain thing.
100%. The other thing that's cool about this, and I don't want to speak for her, but becoming good at social media is a skill in itself. And if she's a dentist and she's a mother, they want to have more kids. She works in office. She doesn't have the luxury of a remote career. So part of her thinking is if I can get really good at social media for dentists, then I can build a digital marketing business where I specialize in social media for dentists. I can work remotely and I can use the skill of social media applied to the knowledge base that I have. And anyone can do that in any industry.
Has this been around for a while, or is it still like, how long have people been building personal brands?
I mean, yeah, it's human beings are storytellers, as you know. We tell stories through religion. We tell stories through commerce, through government, through politics. As old as people have been sitting around a campfire telling stories, people enjoy consuming stories. And that is how we spread information. And I think social media is just like the most modern manifestation of that. So I would say personal brands through storytelling have been around forever. As long as, people have needed notoriety to achieve a goal, whether it's political and commerce or socially, there have been personal brands. And so not a new concept, new in the form of social media, but definitely not a new.
Because the Alex Hormozy approach of typically in business, you build a business brand and then you attach everything to it, but you don't really detach the founder to the business brand because there's a lot of multiples that actually devalue the business if you're too attached to it, because if something ever happened to the founder, that business might not be scalable. So like the opposite approaches for personal brands where you're attaching yourself to a business, but what happens if something happens to the founder? I think Alex Hormozy especially kind of changed the whole framework of the culture around that. Where now people buy from people, and whoever has the audience with the people, the brands are attached to the people, not the other way around.
Yeah, 100%.
And has that been like the last 5 years, 3 years? Like, I feel like the last 2 years, maybe because I've gotten so involved with it now that it's like in my face, like build a personal brand. AI is going to build all this content. People are going to want to buy from you, David, versus 5 other companies I own.
Yeah. The old Kevin O'Leary, what if the founder gets hit by a bus? Right. Then the business is dead. I think people have always been drawn to people, but the concept of a founder-led personal brand is definitely a new, in the last 10 years kind of thing. And you touched on AI. By the way, I think building a personal brand is one of the best things you can do to insulate yourself against AI.
Totally agree.
Again, gets back to that, proof of work versus like what you can say you can do. But yeah, like careers are multidisciplinary. Look at you, right? You've already had 2 exits. You're on to your 3rd business. You have a real estate portfolio. Like you're a father. You do a million things. So by building a personal brand around what you do, you're always insulated from getting replaced, your competitors. No one can compete with you because you are the niche. And so sometimes it's hard to see it this way, but creating content just insulates yourself in the niche that you're in and protects you from all the things that I just mentioned. I do think that, like I said, the reason I went down this path is people who post content are magnets for opportunity. I mean, even the smallest, look at you and I are on a podcast right now. Neither of us would have met unless by chance
Yeah.
if we both weren't posting content. This is a small example. It multiplies the larger you go and the longer you go. And I mean, once you, as a server, I did this for personal brands, and as a service provider, I would have access to their accounts because I would do some of the posting for them in the early stages of my business. And I would see the DMs, and it's just like, please come to my event. Like, it's in Mexico, all inclusive, like services paid, like come through. Please, here, we want you to have this $5,000 handbag. If you could just do a couple stories about, and you're just like, and some of my clients are like, this is 24/7. Not only that, if you're a business owner, the reason it's even more of a cheat code, you get people pitching you to work for you. So now you get access to the best talent, you get access to brand deals, you have leverage when it comes to brand deals. Well, what do you bring to the table? Well, capital. Capital is a commodity.
Right.
My capital is the same as this guy's capital.
Right.
Well, I have capital and I have 100,000 followers to get distribution early on.
Yeah.
Well, now you're an invaluable partner.
Yeah.
So I think that, again, creating a moat around who you are and what you do, there's nothing more powerful than having a personal brand.
Love it. Totally agree.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And it took me a while to see these things. And I think people are definitely seeing it now. It's becoming competitive, but 5-year journey, I guarantee you, if you click post for 5 years, you will have success with it. MrBeast has a famous quote. He says, I'll give free YouTube consulting to anybody, anyone on earth, anytime. The prerequisite is 100 videos. So you have to post 100 videos. Once you do that, I'll give you free consulting, because he knows by the time you get to 100 videos, you are already so much in the top 0.1% of 0.1% that you won't need his consulting. So I try to think about the same way. It's 5 years, it's a couple hundred posts, and then you can reevaluate where you're at and see if you or still want to do this.
Love it.
All right. Social media is a game of formats. Very often people come in and they just try to do their own thing. They just try to wing it. Hey, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. You might get a couple hundred views, whatever. The formats matter more than what you're actually saying. So there are talking head, which I'm talking about now. You know, this direct talking to camera. There are special formats to make that work. There are voiceless posts. These are the ones you see with like trending audio, a song that has a vibe that you're looking for, with some text that talks to your audience. That's an easy one to post, and it's a format that works. There are carousels, good way to share a list or tips or examples of things. Carousel, people can scroll and watch at their own pace. So there's all sorts of formats, and much like golf, there's different clubs that are used at different times. Think about learning the game of formats and taking your knowledge and information and putting it into the formats that actually work matters for social media more than what you're actually about to say. Because the best piece of business advice in the wrong format will go nowhere.
So could we dissect a format?
Yeah. So obviously I do talking head. So I'm going to get right into the nitty gritty. Talking head, again, I've already said why I think it's the best format for building a personal brand. When you're going to do a talking head, everybody talks about hooks, right? And everybody thinks a hook is a thing. Hooks are a science. Hooks are an experience. There are thousands of different hooks. There can be more than 10 different hooks on one video, and there often is. So let's look. I'm going to do it on mute so it doesn't impact the podcast here. But let's look at like the one that I have that went the most viral and break it down for people, because anyone can play into this. So this video here, it's the second one. It says sensitive content if you're on my profile while you're watching.
So what's your handle?
At Martin Deza, MartinDesa.
And then it's the second video, and we'll post it on in the links below.
Yeah, we'll overlay it. So I got started. And when you get started, you have to realize it's not about you. It's about them. Social media at all times is about the viewer. It's not about you. So often people come on, they want to tell their story, and cool, people might connect with your story, but they care about themselves, as I've said. So in the beginning, in my opinion, you want to be giving away things that can help people because no one knows who you are. No one really cares who you are. So you want to give things away. I started in November. I'm an entrepreneur, digital marketing. Obviously, AI is a large focus of what we do now. So I wanted to give away AI resources, prompts, workflows, AI tools. So my first 30 posts are all here's a prompt or here's a workflow. If you want this outcome, here's a workflow, especially in the personal development entrepreneurship space. So I found this cool prompt where it simulated, because as you know, as you use AI more and more, it gets to know and paint a picture of who you are. The prompt was the anti-hero prompt. So it said, describe me if I didn't make any changes in 10 years. And it's a really cool exercise to do because you get to paint a picture of, well, David, if you never change in 10 years, you're going to have this, this, and this. And in some cases, it's a good outcome. For some people, it's not a good outcome. It's not what they wanted. So anyway, it's a cool prompt. People might want to do it. So what I did was, as I mentioned, there are multiple different hooks on each video. So there is a text hook. It's the first thing people read. Psychologically, it's the thing people do first. There is a visual hook. So something to capture their visual attention. When they're done reading that text hook, what are they seeing? There's an audio hook. This is the music, can be sound effects. This is generally like curates a vibe, right? There is an action hook. Is there something that you're doing? You'll often see people like making coffee, or very often in female videos, influencers especially, they'll be like doing their makeup or, combing their dog or something cool. And then action, and then of course the verbal hook. What are you saying, right? So in this video, you could probably now spot all 5 hooks. So I have text right in the middle where your eyes are. I wasn't expecting this. Creates an open loop. What was he not expecting? I'm interested in seeing what that is. Sensitive content warning. Sensitive content. What could it be? What's he going to reveal? So now the person's hooked. The music is this like very grind set. It's called Star Shopping. It's a song that goes around. You would recognize it. You've heard it before on other reels. So it captures this like dark ambient feeling. And then my first line, which is the verbal hook, is, what if you could meet the version of yourself who never changed? Now people are like, I wasn't expecting this. What if you meet the person you never changed? Sensitive content, dark ambient music. It's like, you've hooked me now. Like, I'm going to watch this. I don't know what it's about, but I'm going to watch it. Then you get into your content, and whatever that is after that, it can be good, it can be bad, but the hook has captured the person now. The other reason that went so viral is because I was giving away a prompt. I created a ManyChat automation where if you comment the word, I forget what the word was.
What is ManyChat?
Okay, so ManyChat is an automation-based tool, anti-hero. ManyChat is an automation-based tool so that you don't have to manually DM someone if they want something from you. So I created a ManyChat that if you comment the word anti-hero, this will automatically trigger and I'll send you this prompt. So you can copy it and you can paste it into your Claude or your ChatGPT. So the reason ManyChat is such a powerful thing for business owners and for anyone looking to grow on social media is, first and foremost, it's a way to give something away without you manually having to do it. I have 40,000 comments. If I was manually doing that, I would never be able to get to them, nor would I be interested in it. So it automates your business. Anytime we can automate something in business, we love it, right? Secondly, because people were so interested in commenting anti-hero to try it, the algorithm saw, look at all these comments. This is a valuable post. I'm going to keep sharing it to other people. So highly recommend ManyChat. If you've been on social media, especially Instagram, you've probably engaged with a ManyChat before. I hate to break it to you, you're not DMing with Gary Vaynerchuk or Alex Hormozi, but massively valuable tool for going viral, but also for giving away value. So I highly recommend ManyChat. So getting back to what I was saying, the packaging of that mattered more than what I was actually doing. Now, if I could spin that into another format, like what if I just said, I came across this, like I was just here in this microphone, I said, I came across this cool prompt. It allows you to blah, 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 blah. It might not hook people because they're hearing tons of prompts, blah, blah, blah. They're, But because I had all those elements that made up the hook, that piece of content went mega viral, and I got my first 10,000 followers from it.
How did you come up with that format?
So, my friend, and this is another reason why I went down this path. One of my best friends, his name's Serial Barati. He's a AI type influencer. He was very early. He's one of the most brilliant minds in AI that I've ever met. He focuses on the creative side of AI. He started his personal brand 2 years before me. Within a year, he had 300,000 followers.
Wow.
This is when ChatGPT came out. So everybody was desperately trying to consume AI content, and he was like a leading authority on it. And he built his personal brand. From that, he built an AI tool. That AI tool went from zero, literally scratch, to now he's doing, I think, 300K a month.
Wow.
So he was my like, wow, if he can do, I'm not saying I'm as smart as him, but if he can do it, like maybe I could do something like that. So he had a format that's this green screen. And we got back to the elements that I was saying with my wife, with my family. I don't want to show my life. Green screen format is a great way to produce content. You can still do your talking head without having to show your home, your family, things like that. So I started with the green screen format. And in the green screen format, you need to pick what that thing is behind you. Often you will see people react to articles or other videos, or, you know, they'll design something with Canva. In this case, I have an editing agency, and I said, I want to do the sensitive content. I think this will do well. And they whipped it up for me. And that's how I.
So you were the creative thinking of all this, putting it all together.
Yep. But like I said, green screen format was already a format that did well on social media. So it wasn't like I'm the first person to ever do green screen. I took my idea and I put it into the green screen format.
And then once they're hooked, it's kind of like,
once you're like, we can get really into the science. The concept is like watch time is everything. So your goal is to constantly rehook. And you will see this now. You'll become a student of social media, but people will rehook with things like a pattern interrupt. So just when you think the thing is going down a path, you know, they'll switch up the pattern and you'll be like, oh, but wait. Because as soon as something becomes predictable, you're like, I'm not interested anymore. I might scroll. So they'll say, for an example of this would be, what if you could meet the version of yourself who never changed? A few months ago, I found this prompt where a guy found out what would happen if you never made a change in your life, where you'd be in 10 years. But, you know, it's like, but if you try to do this yourself, you won't do it right because there's a specific sequence needed in the prompt to get it right. So it's like that but is the pattern interrupt that rehooked you. That's like, because what someone could have done is scrolled past me like, I'm going to go do that myself. What if I never change? But they got the but and they're like, oh, but I got to do it this specific way. All right, I might as well just comment anti-hero and take it. So what you deliver matters, but we don't have to get into the science. It's a little boring. And to be honest, it'll make you like cringe at just how scientific content can be. So it matters what you're saying, but not as much as the hook. The hook is everything. Or the hooks.
Wow. And 30 seconds, is there a duration that you recommend?
I'd stay under a minute. It all depends. You can vary, test things. It depends. If you're telling a story and the story needs more time, that's totally fine. But just remember, people have such short attention spans. Generally, the shorter, the better. And the more plain language you can use, the better. Scientifically, the average reading age on social media is less than 18. So even if you're talking to adults, many of them have a reading level below 18. So try and simplify your language. And you will see a person who does this well is Hormozy, you know, never uses complex language. And if he does, it's because he's selling an offer to a complex audience.
Yeah, he even talks about the speed of how he talks. He had to learn how to talk. Like he's scientifically done the whole thing. People
of that size, of that nature, especially in that size of business, like it's so scientifically broken down. Stephen Bartlett, The Diary of a CEO, he has a 30-person content team for YouTube. So they are the science behind the way they're testing thumbnails, testing watch time, testing hooks and intros. They have test accounts that this content team will test different thumbnails. They will review performance and they will pick the winners. So just like you would A/B test a website for Taxify, they're A/B testing every single piece of content that comes out from his account, which will make you sick when you realize like you're by yourself starting your podcast and you're wondering how you can be Stephen Bartlett. And you realize they have that level of they're doing it full time, 30 people, world leading data scientists and marketing scientists. So give yourself some credit.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So we're on number 5.
Yeah, I think we hit. I guess we're getting into the tactics now.
This is great.
Yeah, I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
One that I skipped is like have a strategy. You don't have to have a strategy. This is where I would make the analogy to fitness. Is like not everybody wants to go be a bodybuilder, right? But some people do want to be a bodybuilder. And if you're going to try and be a bodybuilder, you got to have a strategy. You can't wing it with the lifts that you're doing, and you can't wing it with your programming. And the same thing goes for social media. So I made the decision that this would be an intentional venture for me. So I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder, but I'm trying to intentionally build an audience. I talked about growth. That coffee shop on the corner of X and Y Street might not have the same goal. Right. So don't feel like you need to have a strategy. Post your cool coffee designs, the vibe in your coffee shop, local things, by all means. But my goal is growth. So I have a strategy, and I think most people should have a strategy. To get a strategy, research on YouTube or hire a strategist, someone like myself. You can definitely learn it yourself, but like anything else, tax strategy, investment strategy, hire a professional.
Yeah.
But one strategy could be just figure it out on your own, and that's totally fine too. Yeah. But I recommend having one because you want to have a return on your investment, and you don't want to go down this path too long and not have results.
Do you see a trend more in the States building founder-led marketing versus Canada?
I mean, States are always 10x Canada because of just the sheer size, in my opinion, plus like a much more inclination to commerce and like especially celebrity, influencer, notoriety. I think nowhere in the world is as big as the US for those things. So yes, but I think Canada is definitely still the same in regard to the quantity of these things and the quality, just on a smaller scale.
Okay.
So yeah, tactics. So I mentioned having a strategy. When you're getting started, there's 3 types of content. There's top of funnel, which means it's the top of your marketing funnel. The goal of that piece of content is to reach as many people as possible. In the beginning, all of your content should be top of funnel. Again, because nobody knows you. They want to get some value from you so they can start to trust you. So you're going for maximum reach, in my opinion. That was my strategy. That's why everything I did was prompt. You never knew anything about my life, who I was, or what I was doing. You learned those things just by what I was saying and the value I was giving away. If you're building a business, top of funnel is how you go get new eyeballs. Once people click follow or they're interested in your content, they don't even have to follow you to see your thing again. If you watch a reel fully, Instagram will say, oh, they're interested in that person or at least that thing. Once you're interested in those things, I would dial those down to about 40 to 50% of your posts. So every other post, make sure it's top of funnel. You're trying to always get new eyeballs. Then when you're building a business, you want to go to your middle of funnel. This is where people go deeper with you. And this is where an actual personal brand begins to get built. Middle of funnel is where you inject the little things about who you are, what your background is, where you come from, what you're interested in. These are where people go deeper with you. These are where people realize that, oh, I followed David because he gave a great tax strategy for Canadians. But then now I'm going deeper with him because I learned, oh, he's got 2 exits. And one of them was this. And his new venture, Taxifi, is really interesting. So now I'm getting to actually know you. This is a middle funnel post. So as a creator or an entrepreneur on social media, middle funnel should be about, the other half, if not 25%. It's like share bits about you, still try to give value, but this is where people get to know you. And you don't realize how much we know the people we follow, even though we don't know them.
Right.
And that's because we technically will know people more the longer we've been following them. Like think about influencers who've been around forever, Martha Stewart, like any artists, musical artists, Joe Rogan, you know about their life because you've been consuming their content for so long.
Right.
So you know that they're interested in this. They have this many kids. They generally lived here and now they live there. Like all these things help people see themselves in you. And that allows them to trust you more It allows them to want to be a part of this ecosystem that you're building. It allows them to trust you to buy from you if they want to buy from you. So this middle funnel is where they go deep.
And in the middle funnel, is it just content that is there any CTAs, call to actions? Is there anything is it a different format too? Is it just content, or is it a masterclass, a group session? Like, are you trying to sell here a little bit?
A little bit, but not directly. So generally, top of funnel is like follow.
Right.
Follow for more is the CTA. Follow if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Middle funnel is generally to take some kind of action, like comment, or something that's going to get them to go deeper with you. Sign up for my newsletter, join my wait list, whatever. There's like very lightweight actions that allow them to go deeper with you.
Top of the funnel still, if you make a comment and you get the playbook,
Yeah,
that's still top of funnel.
Yeah.
This is actually subscribe to something.
Subscribe to something.
Newsletter, wait list, something.
Lightweight.
Right.
It can be as often as book a call, but I'm going to get into that in a second.
Okay.
It's generally a wait list, a newsletter or join the ecosystem, whatever it is. Join a community. If you have a free on School or any of these community platforms, Telegram, Discord, Facebook group, whatever, middle funnel is generally join that. Get involved with like-minded people like you.
Right.
By the way, on the ManyChat point, ManyChat does have a feature that allows you to ask someone to follow you to get a thing. So maybe you've commented before, oh, I want that free guide to acquiring a townhouse rental property in Ottawa. Oh, got to be following me first. You'll see the creator say, and then they click follow, and then the automation will trigger. You do have that option. I don't like to use it because it feels a bit like beggy, but some people will use that. Right. Then that leads to bottom of funnel. So bottom of funnel is the direct call to action, like click to buy, click to take the action that is the conversion that you're looking for. And so these should be like less than 10% of your posts, but based on your strategy, like if you're top of funnel, like for example, you're launching Taxify, you've been getting people in your wait list, blah, blah, blah. Now Taxify's live and you want to book calls with people, click below to book a call, get your I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what Taxify is yet, but take that action, book a call. If it's a sweatshirt brand, buy it now. It's on sale, 2 for 1, whatever. So that's your bottom of funnel. This should be low in your spectrum of posts, 10%, because you don't want to be selling too much or else people are going to unfollow you. They're going to be like, oh, this guy only cares about sales.
So you would make the content on the top of the funnel to sell 10% of the time, because now you have more people on top, in middle, and now you're hoping that stream gets them to convert.
100%. You got to think about a conversion rate of the percentage of people that land on any website at any point in time.
You're not just selling to the people on the newsletter. You're selling to your whole audience.
Whole audience, yeah. I personally, again, don't sell anything on social media, but if I was building a business where I was going for social media conversions in a commercial state like that, booking a call, selling a product, e-commerce, whatever it is, I would be doing 10% to the whole audience. You got to think about your conversion rate, right? So like let's say I sell tea. I have a Shopify store. I sell tea. What percentage of people who land on my website are going to sell or buy? I mean, let's say you got a great conversion rate. Let's say it's 10%, right? If I stop doing top of funnel and I'm only ever doing bottom of funnel, I have my total market I'll only ever have. And I know that 10% of the ones that get on there are going to buy. But if I continue to do top of funnel, I'm bringing more people in every single day. 10% of the people, 1 in every 10 that comes in, according to my metric, will buy. So I have to keep doing that top of funnel. That's why McDonald's still does tons of marketing. You want to consistently and continually hit that top of funnel so that you're bringing these people into your funnel and your ecosystem continues to grow.
What is an average CTA?
Oh man, it completely depends on the industry. I wouldn't even be able to answer that question.
Because it's like, and this is the reality of social media, you're spending a lot of time on building these formats, building content to get people to find you interesting, then get an email or something for them to subscribe. And then the bottom is for them to buy. And that's a very low percentage of the whole audience. So you have to have a big TAM audience
Mhm.
so that the content comes in and then flows downwards, because we know the bottom is the least amount of
Yep.
metrics.
This is why I think it's more important to build a personal brand than to try and just build a business on social media. Because if your goal is to just build that business, everything that you just said is true. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard. People are being sold to 24/7.
Well, and I think the reverse has happened for years, where business brands just sell and they don't give anything for free from a content perspective,
Mhm.
and they just sell, and people don't resonate with it unless they need it.
Yeah.
Like, I think of like a Shoppers, or like, the old school businesses. I don't have a connection with any of them, versus the new businesses, maybe like Shopify or Netflix or whatnot. There's more of a connection there for
Mhm.
whatever reason.
Yeah. And this is why social media skews toward founder led personal brand businesses. Those are the ones that do the best because all the things we mentioned, people follow people, not businesses. But social media is not for every business. If marketing is your goal, social media is likely very helpful, but for direct conversions, it might not be the right channel for you. So unless you're big enough where this is just brand awareness building, it might not be worth your time and energy.
Right.
Not every business suits social media. The other thing is, if you put out a lot of content, like let's say I wanted to convert my audience and I wanted to be selling hard to my audience is probably not going to convert very well because I've been giving free things away since I started.
Right.
And people who want free things generally are, they call them like free leads, which means they're less likely to spend even a single dollar. I'm sure you've had this in your experience in your business, but we did a launch for one of my personal brand clients. It was a $19 product. So we spent 2 months doing top of funnel all towards this. It was actually a yoga course, all towards this like yoga mindset audience. And the creator had 1 million YouTube subscribers. So we put together a whole content strategy, and we went and we sold these $20 products. Not only did we not have a massive launch in terms of total revenue, but the customer service inquiries asking for refunds and asking for having challenges with logging in was through the roof. Like more than 50% of the people who bought ended up in the customer service inbox with a problem or a refund. This is because, and no offense, but we built a whole audience of free leads, people that wanted free things and low investment type interests. Now, the flip side, you've probably had a client in your life, and the joke is on social media is like the $50 client ends up with you need a sales call on all this BS. The $50,000 client sends you a text, wired you the money, see you on Monday. So one of the things in life that we'll all find is once you become an affluent customer, it will help you sell the affluent offer. What do I mean by that? It took me like to sell a $5,000 service was hard for me in the beginning.
Right.
$5,000 is a lot of money, especially when you're young.
Right.
But when I was coming up, I bought a $5,000 course.
Right.
And now because I had the affluence or I don't even know if that's the word, but because I was able to buy that $5,000 course, not only did I feel like I'm worth that money, but now I have had the experience of a $5,000 transaction. So now when I go to sell a $5,000 or even a $50,000 marketing retainer, I'm over the limiting beliefs of that. And I'm realizing that the people that buy at those levels are the people that you want to do business with. So that is why, again, my goal is to build a business off of the platform. It's very hard to sell a $5,000 thing on social media. So I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah. Love it.
These are all lessons that in any industry, any entrepreneur will come across. It's just multiplied and amplified on social media. So yeah, I think I'm got through the concept of hooks is like, if anybody can leave with anything is if you're trying to get on social media, it's like, have a strategy, think about why you're doing it, get into the formats, but like think about your hooks. Your hooks are everything.
And how do you think of them? Like, do you go ahead?
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I want to get into. So one of the strategies that I do is I go on YouTube. YouTube is the largest content database in the world, right? What that means is The videos that perform the highest have been tested by YouTube's algorithm as being the ones that solve the problem for people. YouTube's goal is to solve problems. This is why when you need to change your oil in your car and you go to find the YouTube video, they used to just give you the video that goes, oh, you drive an Audi SQ5, here's your oil change video. But now, more important than that, YouTube takes you not only to the actual video, but to the minute in the video where it shows exactly how to start that oil change. So yes, YouTube is a place where people get entertained, but generally it's where people learn. Yeah. So most social media content creators are doing some form of educational content. So go to the largest educational content database of the world, YouTube. When you're thinking about, okay, I'm a mortgage broker, what should I create videos about? Type in mortgage broker on YouTube, see what comes up. How to become a mortgage broker will probably come out. How to pick a good mortgage broker. How to know if you are getting good rates from your mortgage broker. Whatever those videos are, that's what you should create content about. Because YouTube, the largest content database in the world, has validated that people interested in mortgage brokers want to know these things. So that's what you should shoot film videos about. More importantly than that, when you see the title of that video, that should be the topic of your video. Like I just mentioned, how to become a mortgage broker. But maybe that's not the goal you're going on social media. You're not teaching people how to be mortgage brokers. You want mortgage broker clients. So it should be how to pick a good mortgage broker, right? Whatever those are.
Right.
Now, the thumbnail, the picture that YouTube video has beside the title will probably have like 3 to 4 or to 5 words on it. We call that thumbnail copy. You'll see it on YouTube. It'll probably say, I wasn't expecting this, or don't do this, do this instead. That should be your text hook. Because the largest content database in the world, YouTube, has validated that 100,000 people, 1 million people clicked on this video. So you know that they either read that or the video title and decided to watch that. So make the video about that. So your video topic is how to evaluate mortgage brokers. Don't do this instead as your text hook. And then when you click on that video, what does the person say first? Maybe they say, I know you've been thinking about buying a house, but you just can't pick a mortgage broker because there's so many of them and they're a dime a dozen, blah, blah, blah. Make that your verbal hook. I know you. You're trying to buy your first starter house. You need a mortgage. We all do. You can't pick because it seems like there's too many options. That's your video. So YouTube's already given you your topic, your text hook, and your verbal hook. Now just put it into a format that you like and see how it does.
And when you build out the script, are you reading the script?
So I script, but I don't read it. If you watch my videos are all cut together. So social media, you need to be digesting it quick. So cut out the dead space. Unless you're a quick talker or it's like a long story, like cut out the dead space. And so what I do is I read, say, then pause. Read, say, then pause. Then my editing team just cuts all that dead space and it hits you cool. It hits you quick. It's super familiar. I used to do teleprompter. A lot of my clients still do teleprompter, but social media, especially video content, is all about authenticity. People can tell when you're reading. And it has that bad ChatGPT smell. And you just, in my opinion, I mean, you can do it, but I would try to avoid it.
So you have your phone next to you?
Yep. Literally, I would have it. So I always record in the same place personally. I find that eliminates my decision fatigue. I always wear this black shirt, or I have 10 of them, but I wear a black shirt. So I eliminate all the variables, try to be Steve Jobs with it. Like, that's not why my audience follows me. I'm not a fashion influencer. I'm about what I'm about to say. I shoot in the same place. I use a window. Natural light on my face is authentic. Studio lighting like this is good, but people know it's coming from a place of pre-production. And that's okay. If your brand is high-end professional, that's great. But very often people want to connect with real human beings. And so the window gives nice natural light, makes it feel very comfortable and authentic. It's not like bright.
And this is all in your house?
In my house. I shoot in the same place, same time, every time. When I do new series, I move the place, but I still design it aesthetically. Then I have a monitor with an articulating like a boom arm, and I just pull my monitor out and I have my scripts all here. And so I just go like this. All right. day one of building a multi-million-dollar, or day one launching $1 million business in 30 days. Welcome back to day one launching $1 million business in 30 days. I could say that's super authentic because I've read it, but now I have it memorized. But I don't feel like I need to memorize the whole 1-minute script because that would take a while, right? I'll go back. You really don't need to guess anymore with blank, blank, blank. 3 tools, Idea Browser. Start with Idea Browser, the largest database online, so that's how I personally do it. It works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. There's a lot of people who are just yapping, which is raw, authentic, off the cuff. If that works for them, great. I'm trying to get usually tips and tricks and being like scientific with it. So I do that.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense because I try to memorize the 30 seconds. That didn't work out. Teleprompter, 30 seconds. You don't feel authentic. Like,
it's hard.
Yeah, you have to find that format that works for you. And how you just did that, I could see how it works.
Yeah. And actually, most often people are doing it with their phone, or I'd recommend, there's some very nice DSLR cameras as well, but I'm trying to get the lightest weight from recording to posting. And for me, that is the phone, because I don't have to airdrop. I just airdrop it to my Mac. It's in the editor's hands, blah, blah, blah. If it's a camera, I have to pull what's called memory stick out, unless you have some configuration that gets it in.
And you said you do the same post, like every day, same time, similar time?
I don't record every day, no, but I do batch record. So I'll always do them on one day of the week. I don't spend more than one day on social media. Every day, well, my routine is I wake up, I go for a walk with my daughter now, but I'm generally, saying a couple prayers, listening to what my mind is telling me and ideating. Especially when you get walking, drink water, maybe a coffee, you're going to get a million ideas. And I just voice to text them and they all dump into an ideas folder. Then on that Thursday, I'll go into my ideas folder and say, I'm going to make a video about this, this, and this. I'll put them into scripting. I generally use a prompt to script, trained it on my voice. It'll put it into these packaging. Then I'll start going obsessive with the hook. What's the hook about? How am I packaging this, formatting the hook?
Are you talking with AI on this? Like you're going back and forth?
A little bit of AI, a little bit of like on Instagram, I'll search YouTube, like I just said. I'll go on Instagram. I might have some things in my saves folder and I'll be like, oh, I really like how this guy said this. That hooked me. Okay. That's another great tip. If something hooks you, it might hook others. Save the hook. So I'll study the hook. I'll put a hook on it and then I'll literally sit down. I'll have 5 scripts. I'll punch them all out in 2 hours. You generally take a little bit of break in between each one. Then I have my 5 videos, send them off to editing. They'll all be done by the next Friday. And then and then if you just do that every week, you'll never run out of content.
And then when you say you send it off to editing, what does that mean? Yeah.
So I work with an editing agency right now. I'm in the process of solving that problem for other people as well. My editing agency is very good. I pay $15 US per video, and that's a fair price for the talking head style that I do. Doesn't require a lot of B-roll or a lot of animations and things like that. If you have a more complicated setup like my green screen before, where my editors had to spend more time sourcing B-roll and creatively and aesthetically setting up the backdrop, I paid $30 US per video for that. So that's part of the reason why I switched off that, because not only is it more expensive, but it took like an edit for them took about 4 hours of work. Now it's down to like 40 minutes of work. So I'm able to get higher production, higher frequency, and the algorithm actually rewards less produced stuff now. People just want more authenticity, I think. So that shift has happened.
So you send it to them, you get it, then what happens?
So this is you set me up, you teed me up perfectly. Let's say I'm a person that's trying to get started in their social media journey, right? I have to do all these things that I've just mentioned to you. I have to figure those things out for myself. One of the main things that's a challenge is editing, because editing is a whole new skill, right? Let alone becoming the creator, learning editing. So if you're an entrepreneur, it's time for money. You want to outsource your editing, in my opinion. Yeah. If you're still, if you have more time than money, you might want to do your own editing, but most entrepreneurs want to run a business. They don't want to be a full-time content creator. Yeah. So they outsource it. When you outsource it, you're going to connect with your editors on a text platform, whether it's WhatsApp, Slack, Asana, name your project management platform, they'll use that. You're going to have to take your video file from your phone or your camera. You're going to have to put it in some Dropbox, Google Drive, WeTransfer. You're going to have to get it to them. They're going to download it. When they download it, they're going to put it into CapCut, whatever they're editing with. They edit the footage. They then put it back into a WeTransfer, whatever.
Yeah.
Normally, the file sharing thing editors use is frame.io. Frame.io allows you to review the footage and you can make comments, timestamp comments. So they'll send you back a Frame.io link. You give your comments. Hey, I like this, change that, whatever. Then they're going to have to download it again to their video editing tool. They're going to edit it. They're going to send it back to you. You're going to download it, upload it to Instagram, put on whatever finishing touches and post it. Man, you're hitting 5 different tools, back and forth 4 times. It is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Not to mention the back and forth of managing them, making sure that they're on time.
Yeah.
They're delivering things on time. The spelling mistakes, the negotiating the prices. This is the worst part for entrepreneurs. It's like, I don't know how much it should cost.
Right.
I want to eliminate all that. So I'm building a tool called ReadyCut. It's a one-stop shop. It's like Uber for short form edits. The ability to order edits like you order an Uber. I don't post like I need a ride to the airport. I don't post like, hey, I need a ride to the airport. And 100 Uber drivers say, I'll drive you, I'll drive. That doesn't happen, you know? It's a tech-enabled, done-for-you service. I'm here, pick me up here, take me there at that time. I want the same experience when I edit. Here's my footage. Here's an example of what I want it to look like. Send it back to me edited. And so ReadyCut is an editing service. But more important than that, before you get to that footage, it's like an AI wrapper where we have all our algorithmic stuff to choose your hooks, help you script it out, help you find that format. So it's like a content creator or a founder, entrepreneur led creation platform to help you take your ideas to a finished product for social media, because it's the most powerful resource for building a business, in my opinion.
I love it. Will it post too?
No, because I think, in my opinion, you need to post natively. You need to go right into Instagram. Anytime, and I've tested this a million times, and anyone who's worked in social media has as well, anytime I use a scheduler, the posts don't perform as well.
Yeah.
I can't prove it. Instagram claims it doesn't matter, but in my opinion, it does. So I won't have that. I could probably build that in. It's really easy. There's lots of different through the API, but I don't think that's going to be our core selling point.
I mean, I definitely get the pain. I mean, I'm going through it right now. I love podcasting, but everything around it. I mean, these guys made it amazing where you get the edit, but then you still have to build the shorts and the create and then post on YouTube and Spotify. And there's a lot that goes on administratively for it.
You didn't get into this to do that.
Yeah.
Most people on social media didn't get into it to be a content creator.
And it's crazy because I don't know if I want to hire someone, because I'm like, I don't want to manage someone either. I want it to just be done.
You will get to a level, a Dan Martell and Alex Hormozy, where you will hire someone to do it because it will become a full-time thing, but you don't want to, especially not in the beginning.
Yeah.
So anytime it can be done for you, or at least like systemized in a way that's efficient, that's what I'm trying to do, is buy entrepreneurs time back for them. So, you'd be a perfect person, but that actually leads me to a good point. Why did you get into podcasting? And you can be honest. I have my assumptions about why anyone gets into podcasting, but I'm going to guess and assume you did it because you've got a great business acumen. You have a wealth of experience that others can benefit from, and you're not done, right? You want to keep going. You're launching Taxifi. You'll probably do a million other things. So you saw podcasting as an avenue to refine your craft conversationally, to network, to build your personal brand, to get known so people bring you deals like I was talking about. And all those things, none of those things include learning content creation, managing editors, or that whole stack. So those are my assumptions. What would you say?
I totally agree. Yeah, no, I think, to be completely frank, I thought it was the coolest thing. I mean, I've been watching Stephen Bartlett like crazy, the Diary CEO. I'm like, if I'm interested in podcasting and I can go for a walk and listen to a full podcast, and that's where I get my content and my knowledge, I don't listen to the news anymore. I don't do all that stuff. So I'm like, why don't I do it? So it was more a curiosity of like an interest to my beliefs, and then that aligned. The second thing is when I wanted to do the podcasting is like I didn't want to do the virtual podcasting. It's like if I didn't have a studio, I wasn't gonna do it because I wanted that energy and physical connection with the person to be like, okay, it's a true, authentic conversation. So there was some criterias that I put on myself to be like, if this is met, this is met, this is met, I'll do it. And then once you jump into it, you're like, oh, actually, there's a lot more that goes into it. And thankful for the studio to have 60% of it covered, but there is definitely still the 40% in the editing going to. I'm here, not a content creator, wanting to do it. And then I'm like, okay, I got these videos. How do you create shorts? Uh, so YouTube shorts or Instagram shorts or whatever reels. And I'm like downloading CapCut, putting it in my phone, editing it for like hours, trying to figure it all out. I'm like, this is a fucking disaster. Like,
Yeah.
this is such a waste of my time, and I do not want to do it. So I then reached out to individuals on Fiverr and got it that way. But you know, I get the back and forth and all the other stuff that goes on with it. It's just there's a painful process. You know, in my opinion, the whole I just want it's like accounting. Just outsource everything and let me run my business like the whole done for you. So back to your question is I did it because of curiosity. That was the
Yeah.
main thing. And then now I'm perfecting the trade from end to end and I want to automate the whole thing
Yeah.
so I can do more and I can have my energy in a different way.
It comes through that it's your curiosity driving you just in the way that you ask questions. I will say, I'll give you that compliment. I think there's a lot of people that want to start a podcast for notoriety. And it's so obvious that all they want to do is talk about themselves.
Yeah.
And it's inauthentic in a conversation format. If you look at the best podcasters, they're all trying to solve their curiosity.
Yeah.
Diary of a CEO, Joe Rogan, just to name a few, even Alex Cooper, any podcast where it's conversation based,
Mhm.
they're generally trying to refine their communication skills, network,
Yeah.
and solve their curiosity.
Yeah. And those are the three things. It's like when I played high level soccer in the States, and after every game you watch the footage to see how you played for the next game. So now I'm watching the footage and improving every time because I'm like, oh, I say this too many times, or like you start picking up cues to make you a better entrepreneur, a better communicator, a better everything.
Yeah.
Gotta give you a compliment too. You're an amazing communicator. Like,
Thank you.
you simplified that very complex process. And like, I've been, you know, in it for a year and a half trying to figure it out, and you have articulated it very clearly. And I believe like we're going to set up a playbook. Tell
Yeah.
us about what your vision is.
I put everything that I talked about here into a free guide, and we're going to give it to you. You're not going to have to give an email address. This is not a lead acquisition thing. I just want, when I show up on podcasts, or vice versa, if I'm listening to a podcast and they're giving a deep dive on information, I'm like, can you send me this deck or this guide or whatever it is? So I always try to put that together before I come on the podcast so that I can give that away for free, because the listener, if social media is something that they want to go down, the path that they want to go down, to find all of this online and assemble it yourself is challenging. I thought I would just put it into a guide. So I thought of that in the beginning. I also know that podcasts are not about you and I, they are about the listener. So why not give the listener what they showed up to listen for, even if it's a clip of the podcast. I wanted to say something else related to what you were saying. I think it's escaped me now. It might come back.
Stan Store. What do you think of Stan Store for building your personal brand?
Big fan of Stan. If your name's John Who, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to get in touch with you actually. Yeah. Jay Hoovy is his handle, founder of Stan Store. Amazing entrepreneur. I think he's ex-Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
Stan Store is incredible. You know, for the link in bio, but for making it easy to sell anything on social media or even just create these free guides. It's awesome. I spoke about ManyChat. Stan has their own version of ManyChat as well. Comment to DM automation. You can use that as well. It's great. Yeah, big fan. Why do you ask?
I don't use ManyChats. I use Stan Store.
That's cool.
And I think monetizing on it, like, what do you recommend? So what is Stand Store, just high level, and what do you recommend a playbook for that?
Yeah, so Stan is essentially a one-stop shop for a creator to sell or give any information away. It is often the link you put in your bio. So when people click on it, they can get a list of your resources. So let's say you were a nutrition coach. You could have free guides. Let's say you do nutrition for people like you and I, men ages 30 to 45. You could have free guide, one-stop shop nutrition guide for men, blah, blah, blah. All these lists of healthcare products that you're affiliated with. You could have your affiliate links. Like let's say LMNT reaches out to you and gives you an affiliate code. You could have your link to LMNT products there. So it's a way to display all the commercial business side of your business in one link on social media. And then it also gives you the opportunity to sell your courses. Not only sell them, but create them. So a course is very often just text-based information or video-based, assembled into some structural format. Stan gives you the infrastructure to do that. So you don't need to build a custom website. You don't need to build
Mm.
anything custom. You just drop your video links with the text, and they'll make you these beautiful guides, these beautiful courses, and then the infrastructure for coaching offers as well. If your business is to like one-on-one calls, whether it's to give free calls to sell something else or paid calls, the infrastructure is there for that as well. So very often entrepreneurs will use like Acuity or Calendly to schedule calls with their leads. Stan gives you the infrastructure to do that as well. So people book a call, calendar invite gets sent with the call connection link. If you need to charge money for that call, you can charge money there, and you just connect Stripe, and you can build your whole business off Stan.
And when we talk about the top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of the funnel, like where does Stan sit on that?
Stan's obviously bottom of funnel because that's where you want to drive people, but it actually works with all three because you can give free things away from your Stan store. If I'm an entrepreneur that's trying to build a business on social media, everything goes to Stan because it's where your free guides are, it's where your book of calls are, and it's where your paid stuff goes as well.
And when you're in the middle of a 30-day series.
Yep.
How's that going? And what being in it is different than reflecting afterwards. So like, how is it going so far?
Yeah, really, really well. It's very difficult, I will say, to commit to something for 30 days. It's not a 7-day series. So I'm trying to post 2 times a day for 30 days. And in that time, I'm also trying to engage with the people that I'm working with. And I'm building all sorts of free resources for the people in the series. So, for example, so a lot of it is social media related, and that's why I chose to do it in a social media series because it is a social media product. If I was if I was buying a Booster Juice smoothie franchise, a 30-day series on social media might not be my marketing channel because it's not directly applicable to social media. So anyway, I'm building it on social media because it's a social media product first and foremost. For example, all the things that I mentioned on this podcast, like hooks, we created an ultimate hooks guide. I'm giving it away for free.
Right.
So I have to build that resource to then put it into the Stan store so that when I say comment hooks, they get that thing and it's actually really valuable for them to get. So on top of the content, there's the giveaways, and then there's the wait list, and there's the actual product that luckily I have a co-founder working with me who's outstanding, who's building the actual software.
And when you start the series, do you have an outcome that you're looking for?
Yeah, we wanted to launch this product. The whole purpose of my series, and entrepreneurs will really nerd out on this, and this is why my audience is becoming very entrepreneurial, is because I'm trying to validate that this thing is even needed.
Right.
I think it's needed. Everybody I talk to says they need it,
Right.
but there's so many nuances in building anything from scratch that you can think it's the best idea in the world and people can tell you it's great, but until you actually post a buy button online and watch a stranger click buy, you're not completely validated that people actually want that. So the 30-day challenge in itself is, and actually I'm really proud of this strategy. So maybe I'll just one entrepreneur to another, we can nerd out. I need this problem solved for myself.
Right.
first and foremost. I think if you're trying to build a business for a problem that you don't personally have, then you're just guessing. And like I said, there are a million nuances to building a business, everything from the messaging to where the buttons go, what the flow is, how the value gets delivered. If you don't desperately need that for yourself, then you're literally just guessing. And so the whole business venture is just a lottery ticket, a really expensive lottery ticket. So I'm desperate for this solution to solve for myself and for my clients in my business. So I thought that if I go down this path to validate it, the worst outcome, and by the way,
You get it.
yeah, the worst outcome is I have it for myself and I just plug my editors in. We're spending $3,000 maximum on this. So that's our budget until we have it validated. So in the worst case scenario, I have $3,000 spent. I invested in a tool for myself, and now I have that asset for my business. So I'm really proud of the strategy behind it. Whether or not it gets validated, I don't know. I'm getting lots of signups on the wait list. I haven't had anyone buy yet, but I haven't done any bottom funnel yet. We're getting into, I think we're on day 17. So the last 10 days are where I'm really bottom funnel. But like I might get 0 buyers from this. And then my business partner and I will have to evaluate, like, is it worth continuing to build this? I think it is, again, because we want it for ourselves, but we'll stop if it's only for us, or we'll build it exactly how we want it rather than for the market.
I have a business opportunity for you. Thinking about, because what you're doing is you're doing an iteration cycle for your tech. You could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on your tech, but you're validating if the consumers will actually buy it before you build it. There are so many businesses now with AI that can be created, but they don't have the validation in that framework to see if the customers actually want to buy their product. So opportunity I would be thinking about too is, okay, you have all these developers just building cool shit. You have 30-day series for products that you align with, and then you become that data scientist behind the product to be like, this is what we're getting. Pour fire on the tech to go after it. Because there's not too many people that have that validation process before they build it. And Taxify is a perfect example. I ran an accounting company for over 10 years using off-the-shelf accounting tools. The problem was I didn't have control of how they were created. So I was waiting for them to improve my business. I said, no, I'm doing it myself and I'm going to create it the way I want to create it. I skipped the validation process because I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. If it's just good for all my corporations, I'm good with it. But if I was going into it would prevent me from going into another tech play unless I had full validation and I did exactly what you're doing, because I wouldn't put the money behind it without knowing for a fact that the consumer would be buying it. So I think there's a playbook there that you created,
I've thought about it. I would call it the Creator-Founder. I think that, like you just said, vibe coding and developing is now easy, right? Not easy for everybody, but it's easy for people who know how to do it.
It can be done.
Anytime something becomes easy, it loses its value, right? That's why these days app stores see 900,000% increases in submissions and way less usage. You know, only the top 1% of apps are actually getting used. So what does that tell you? Anytime something becomes easy, it loses value. Therefore, the things that are hard gain value. So if you're like me, you're a marketer, you're a communicator, storyteller, your strength comes from sharing ideas and insights and things like this. Become a Creator-Founder by building that audience brick by brick around the subject that you're interested in, and then partner with a builder who can build the thing or has built the thing and needs distribution. And so luckily my co-founder, his name's Damia, he's Spanish. He is one of the first employees of Fitbod, very popular fitness app, millions of users worldwide. He is an outstanding developer. and he started creating content, and it's not his strength. English is his second language. He's he's stronger than he thinks he is, but he tried it and it was hard, not his specialty. Him and I met in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica years ago. We had been friends on social media socially. And he's like, oh my God, man, you're doing content. I have this idea. And it was all about content as well. It was similar. It is what the early stages of ReadyCut were. And so we partnered up. And I would recommend lean into your skill set, whatever that is. If you are a creator and social media is your strength, build that audience brick by brick, and then go out and find a business partner.
And that's where you're talking about opportunity in social media.
Yeah.
Like this is how it came from it.
Exactly.
You didn't foresee this happening.
I didn't foresee it happening, but I knew that opportunities would come inbound by putting myself out there. And so Damia coming to me was great. Access to talent, right? Access to a co-founder. Right. My next series, and it's a little bit of the tea, because software is becoming so easy for everybody. San Francisco, my friend spent some time there and he was like, man, you'd be blown away. No one's working on software. I was like, really? What's everyone working on?
Robotics.
Hardware.
Yeah.
Because software is so easy and boring. Yeah. Put yourself 5 years in the future. Like, look how good AI is now. Yeah. AI is going to be able to one-click copy any software. Yeah. So therefore, there's very hard to create a moat or keep any value in your software because AI is going to figure out how to copy it. So where does the moat lie? It's in the distribution or hardware, the more traditional business models. Yeah. It's coming for full circle. So I want to have, my wife and I live a healthy lifestyle. We want to create a very healthy home. There's all sorts of ways you can do that. And you can integrate smart tech into the home. I got an opportunity from Cursor. They reached out to me. They're trying to push their new model. I don't know if you know, Elon and SpaceX acquired Cursor. So Cursor is now owned in the Elon universe. And
for my audience, what is Cursor?
Cursor is an AI LLM. It's a vibe. It's like a Claude competitor, ChatGPT competitor. They have new models and new products that they're trying to push out. They reached out for me to do 3 reels about using Cursor. We thought about using Cursor for ReadyCut, but we were already in the series. It wouldn't have made sense. So what I said to them is, I want to build this healthy home lifestyle based series where I show how you can use AI and offline stuff to create a healthy environment for your home and your family. And so I think that's cool because everybody in the world is doing vibe code this, vibe code that, AI this, AI that, but I don't see anyone talking about how to use an LLM for offline and for real life. And so I pitched it to Cursor. I said, why don't we do this together? It'll be a 30-day series as well. And I'll be going after the audience of, healthy lifestyle interested working professionals that want to create a healthy home and they want to use smart tech to do that. So all the rage right now is building second brains. What that is training an LLM on your whole life, everything about you. You can do this with an open source model if you don't feel comfortable sharing your data to Claude or ChatGPT, or you can do this locally. So you can download the model to your device. It's not connected to the internet. You're not giving your data to them. Create a second brain, knows everything about you, everything about your business, everything about your health, everything about your family. And then you create systems from that to constantly improve. So every time you get blood work, you punch it in. Every time you are, health is scary for people to share that data, but little things like reminders to change the air filter in the house. Grocery shopping, automating your grocery shopping. I want to wake up in the morning and all my blinds to rise up automatically. So it's all natural sunlight. You can automate all that based with AI. And so I want to use Cursor to build the brain for the home. That is like our family brain. And then it's disconnected from the internet. And we have this healthy, high-tech home doesn't seem high-tech. It's all hidden in traditional features.
And when you do a 30-day series, you mentioned a time commitment because you're also creating guides, plus doing content, plus doing the edits. Do you allocate 2, 4, 6 hours a day, or is it like sporadic, or how do you manage that?
I hit a whiteboard. I don't give myself any pressure. Sorry, that's not true. I give myself pressure, but in the beginning when I'm still like ideating a series, I hit a whiteboard and I try and map the whole 30 days. Like, what would be a dream outcome? What do I hope to give through this? What do I want to touch on? And what's the strategy? Like, am I trying to grow? Am I trying to convert business clients? Am I trying to be a healthy homes consultant? So architects and builders all reach out to me to join a family when they go to do their like pre-construction planning. Like I have to think about what's the goal of this series. And if it's just to get brand deals from Cursor and LMNT health products, like that could be the goal. That's fine. Based on what the goals are, I'll map out the type of content I want to share. If I'm doing healthy home, it's going to have to be very aesthetic. It's going to have to show the products, show the architecture. These automated blinds that come up according to sunrise, like I have to show that, you know? So when I do this series, it's going to be more work than me always sitting in front of this thing. But I map it on a whiteboard. I talk about like what it's going to take, try to break down each content piece, how long it's going to take me to create, how many shots do I have to do? Am I going to have to go to a manufacturing facility to show how something's built? You know, all the little things that'll go into the visual. And then I'll try and script them all out, or at least the packaging for it. So like, what's the topic? What's the hook? Blah, blah, blah.
Each day
Of the 30 days, if it's a post every day type of series. And then once I feel comfortable with like, this is the picture, like it'd be like if you're writing a series on Netflix, it's like, here's all the episodes, here's the character arc and the journey, and here's the target audience I hope to build. Then I'll say, okay, I'm comfortable with this, and get over that limiting belief of like, would I feel comfortable talking about this? And then I'll go out and start creating. I'll normally start to, now that I have an audience, I'll start to tease it and I'll say, I'm thinking of going down this path. What do you guys think? See what the comments are. I'll talk to people socially. Like, would you follow this? Like, I'll validate it like any other business. And if I'm feeling really good about it, then boom, that's the series. Cursor, let's get the deal going. What are you guys comfortable with? Put together the deal structure and then go out and produce it.
Now, your personal brand is, let's just say, take these two series. They're two completely different target markets. Would you say?
Yeah, no. Different interests, but same target market.
Okay. So you would just, as long as your target market remains similar, the interest would be, you do multi-interest things for that target market.
As long as it's within reach of like one direction, one standard deviation. Like I started with personal development and then I got into startups. You know, those things are very closely within reach.
Okay.
I didn't go from startups to dentistry.
Right.
Because I mean, all startup founders have a dentist, but it's not like they're not adjacent or they're not beside each other. So my trajectory started personal development because that's what I was interested in. Then I went to startup. Now I'm going into healthy home. It's one standard deviation because what we actually did, and this is where Damia's brilliance shines as an engineer, is ReadyCut is already built as a brain. So rather than build the business, we built the brain. We scraped YouTube, scraped all sorts of content resources to figure out what do people who need to grow on social media need to know. We trained the brain on that. And then now the brain is actually building the business. So I asked it, what are the 5 lead magnets that are going to be the easiest things for people to want to learn that are going to help convert for ReadyCut? Talking head video guide, how to do talking head reels, hooks, ultimate hooks library, how to build a content second brain, how to get business advice. And so it gave me all those. And I think that's the future of how startups are being built is let's take a knowledge base and let's serve the audience of those knowledge bases with software and hardware. So it's brain first, product second.
Did you come from an entrepreneurial family, a creator? Like, were you always creative?
I think my grandfather worked for Petro-Canada, and the rumor is that he invented like a new process to help oil refining, and they kind of gave him like a high five and a case of beer, and then took it and like made a bunch of money off it. So I think he was always curious and like had ingenuity, but I did not come from an entrepreneurial background. My mom is a world-class communicator, so that's where I get my communication skills. And then I just started watching Dragon's Den. Like I'm a product of Shark Tank and Dragon's Den, as I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
Be 13 and all my friends are watching other shows and I'm like breaking down a deal with Kevin O'Leary. I felt like so interested in entrepreneurship that it's just my curiosity drove me.
And your mom's a master communicator. What does that mean?
She's just, she's got the gift of the gab. She's very social. She's a joke teller, not a comedian per se, but like, I think you know, people tell jokes.
Mm.
People used to tell jokes. I think jokes have been replaced by memes.
Right.
But like she has an arsenal of 100 jokes ready. And what I think the similarities between comedy and content creation is all you're doing is structuring your thoughts in a way that people can digest and articulating yourself. And comedians and joke tellers refine that, right? This is why comedians workshop their material on small crowds before they actually go do the Netflix special, because you have to refine the joke, the punchline, the delivery. And I think that's what communication is. And you going down this journey of podcasting, like you are completely refining your communication skills. Like I look at you right now, eye contact's good. You're in a very listening position. You're not like, I went on a podcast once and I was, yeah, nodding along as a listener. Then I listened to it and all I can hear is my fucking yeahs. And it's like, that's not very good active listening, you know? So I think content creation is a communication endeavor. And luckily, because my mom is such a good communicator, I learned that from her. And I realized that communication is my skill set. This will take me places in my career. And so how can I build a career around communication? Luckily, social media and content have such value in the world. And so my zone of genius directly applies to an industry. If social media didn't exist, I'd probably be in sales or teaching, you know, something else where communication is the skill set.
Do you speak?
I've given a TEDx talk and I've spoken at like university and stuff. I've never done like a full on big audience stage lecture, but I would be comfortable doing that. How about you?
Yeah, so I would love to whenever I can speak, I'd speak for sure. That's another art, is speaking in front of people. But you get the energy from the crowd too. So it's like, it's a cool
direct feedback
on things. And I think it's an incredible way to touch a lot more people, and give a lot more of the feedback out.
How did you get into entrepreneurship? The same thing. Did you come from an entrepreneurial family or?
So my grandfather came here when he was 22 years old, bought his first property, turned that property into a duplex, lived in the one side, rented out the other side paid for the first property, didn't know how to speak English, didn't know how to do anything. And then once that house was paid off, he bought multiple properties. So real estate, when I was a kid, was all that we spoke about at the family. And then I went to school in the States on a soccer scholarship, came back here, worked at the Ottawa Hospital as a consultant, had my MBA. So I had all the theory behind it. You know, I wasn't the best student, but when it came to business, I was like 4.0, like just loved it. Like, and then Dragon's Den came out, and like that exposed me a little more to entrepreneurship. My dad ran an accounting practice, a tax practice, but he was more of a technician versus an entrepreneur. So I always would challenge him and be like, Dad, this business, you're bringing in a lot of clients. Why don't you move to everything online? Why don't you move to Zoom? And this was back in 2012, 2014. He's like, Dave, I've been doing it for 25 years. You know, who are you to tell me how to change my business?
Yeah.
And my dad's my mentor, everything. And he had one employee that he pretty much, it was kind of called a hostile takeover. He came on and I started my own business, and it was called Involta, which meant constant movement, constant growth. And the first thing I did was I started a tax business because that's all I knew. And I'm like, I could leverage his skills. I have his employee. He can do the tax work. I can go get business. But after the tax season, it was very seasonal. And I'm like, I don't want to lose this employee. So I started doing small business bookkeeping and accounting. And that was a monthly type of thing. But I wanted to go after the corporate tax returns because that's where the money was at. But they were all going to the KPMGs, the Welshes, the big firms. So I couldn't get them. So I'm like, you know what? If I build a relationship with these small business owners on a month-to-month basis doing the bookkeeping because accountants didn't want to do it, they'll build a relationship with me. And therefore, I'll get the corporate and personal taxes based on just them liking me.
100%.
And that's what I did. We got one client after another client, and I built this subscription model that's never been done before in Canada or even North America, where every month a small business owner would pay me $1,000 and I would do their bookkeeping, tax, everything all in one. So there was no hidden fees. Scaled that up to 40 plus employees. And one of the hardest things that happened was during that time, convincing people to come to me online versus going to an office and talking to someone. Then the pandemic hit and my business exploded. But
Blessing.
while it exploded, I'm like, I'm getting all these clients, but now I have the off the shelf accounting platforms
Mm.
that are not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't scale with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for the last few years, I've been thinking about what I wanted to do. And then AI came on board. And I didn't think I was going to be a tech founder because, people were talking about raising millions of dollars, starting out. Like it was all, I didn't understand that game at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then once, ChatGPT came out, I became addicted to it. I started doing all the apps and doing all this. And then I started really believing in personal brands, being like, okay, if all this content is at my fingertips, if someone doesn't trust you as a figure, they're not going to buy from you.
Mm-hmm.
And the mindset shift from building a business brand to a personal brand took me a long time to understand because I came from the business brand perspective.
Yeah.
But now I completely get the personal brand because it's just a connection with client to you. And that's what people buy from at the end of the day. So started building my brand a year and a half ago. And then I launched Taxify March 1st, servicing the small business community.
Cool.
And we're pretty much automating all their back end office for small businesses. So you have a dashboard to see where your numbers are at.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how much taxes you owe, what your profit is, what your expenses are on a real time. So you can run your business without worrying about the edits and, the accounting and the bookkeeping. And then we have people in the background actually doing the tax returns.
Oh, cool.
So take care of the whole end to end for the small business owner.
It's really cool. And I'm guessing it's much more simple than a QBO, QuickBooks.
We're taking those off the shelf platforms and simplifying it.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Please.
Because those platforms were geared towards accountants.
Yeah.
They're not geared towards business owners,
No.
entrepreneurs, owners. So it's like, what do they actually need?
I need 5 numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And give them to you on a real-time basis.
That's amazing. I'm going to 100% check it out.
Yeah.
Tax has been my biggest headache. I think it's every small business owner's biggest headache.
And I wanted to talk about Stand Store. I also wanted to connect into Stand Store. They do the front end. We do the back end. But what I've realized, a lot of creators, it's a tough road. Like only, I think, less than 10% of creators make over $100,000. Like, it's a very small percentage. So 90% of creators start it, but don't have the guidance expertise like you do. And then after 6 months, be like,
yeah,
I need a job. I need to make money and I need to, go out there. For those individuals, what do you recommend? Do you recommend the 5-year journey? Do you start part-time and then move to full-time?
I would recommend that. Stick in your job. By the way, social media is not all for founders, entrepreneurs, creators. That happens to be the game that we play, or the space we play in. I love to see people with a job create content about their job and then leave said job or become a coach for said job. A guy I know, product manager Mike is his handle. He's a product manager.
Right.
He's not trying to start his own business. It's not his game. He loves product management, and product management with AI now is so valuable. So he creates content about product management. He gets brand deals geared towards product managers and things like this. So if you have a job, there's no shame in creating content around your job as well. Secondly, monetization is definitely a skill and an art form, like any business is. If you're trying to make money directly from social media, I would keep your job to begin with. And only when you first hit that first month where your social media income replaces your regular income, would I then branch out? You can take that risk. You can risk it, save some money and launch. Hats off to people who do that. I don't think that's in your best interest to do because your likelihood is low. What that would give you is more time to work on content because you do have to learn. But I would recommend learning in your nights. Go do your 9 to 5 job, learn in your nights. When that income replaces your regular income, that's when I would branch off. The other thing that I would say is the strategy behind monetization and funnels is a complete art form as well.
Yeah.
So we talked about top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel, having free resources. Then we stack the guides generally as like do it yourself DIY. This is usually a $50 to $150 product. Done with you. This is usually some sort of coaching. This is generally where you get into like $1,000 to $5,000 product. And then the done for you. This is where an agency actually does something for someone. That's generally 5K plus. All depends on the industry. But try to think about your funnel in social media is free content to newsletter, free guide, newsletter to free guide to paid guide to some sort of coaching consulting, then some sort of done for you agency if you want to. So an example with you with taxes, it could be all sorts of Canadian business owner tax content, which I follow and I love. Then into free tax guide related to, you could build an AI tool. I think that would be a cool guide, low lift. Inbound is like, see how much money you're leaving on the table with your current tax infrastructure, whatever. Make it an LLM wrapper so I can actually, as a business owner, put my numbers in and it computes something, anything. Then go into DIY. Here's a DIY product. This could be the Taxifi platform where you do it yourself and you use it rather than replace your QuickBooks, cancel QuickBooks, use Taxify. Then it done with you. Maybe you want to help a business owner who's going through an exit or going through an acquisition of a rental property as a business owner. You could do some sort of 4-week coaching, $1,000, 1 call per week. I pay you, you handhold me through that whole process. Then if you want to do done for you, this is your tax advisory agency where you take them on as full-time retainer clients. And so that's your offer stack. Think about an offer stack. You don't need to have an offer at every level of the stack, but slowly think about a stack and bringing a business owner through that stack or your target audience through that stack.
And how do you build a personal brand with that business brand? So like myself, the personal brand, I'm building a podcast. Taxify is a different handle.
Mhm.
The content here, it's a couple digits away. Like we talked about, it's not talking taxes, it's more talking entrepreneurship.
Yep.
But it's still in the same realm of audience. How do those two line up?
If I were you, I would not create accounts for Taxify. I would put all your content out through your personal brand. Now you can, it's just going to be more work. And so if you can delegate that, like business brands on social media, sometimes it's important to have a presence just because someone's researching it and they want to see something. But I would lead it all to your personal brand and I would go creator founder style content. I'm David DiNardo. I create this content around this interest, which is tax, small business, exits, tax advisory stuff. By the way, in your bio, like you have founder, Taxify, whatever. It doesn't need to have its own Instagram account. It just needs to have a website, a stand store link where I can land on a thing. I can see what it is, get a value proposition. I can book a call or whatever it is I'm trying to do. So I would respectfully not go build a social media account for Taxify yet. I would focus all on creator founder and just make your content ecosystem include a lot of Taxify stuff personally.
Right. And you have an agency so you tell me a little bit about, so you have the business launching and then you also have an agency to help creator founders, entrepreneurs
Yep.
level up on social media.
Yep. I have a retainer client that I focus most of my agency work on. I've actually fired a couple of clients because I'm going down this ReadyCut journey. So I'm taking, I've scaled my business back because I'm starting to do it for myself.
Mhm.
So I have some clients that I do ad hoc work for, especially consulting. But essentially, I'm going all in on this content thing. It is becoming a large part of the way I spend my capacity. That is very intentional for the long-term payoff, as I mentioned, my goals. But I do have an agency where I provide consulting and advisory services, and I'm very specific about who I work with at this point. But I'm always happy to give free resources. I do meetups, I do podcasts, I do one-on-one calls. I'll join people who do master classes. I'll come on their master class and serve their audiences. I'm pretty abundance mindset. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to sell all the time. I'm happy to give a lot of this away because a lot of people can benefit from it. And I'm a product of the other people before me who gave this stuff away for
Mhm.
free. So I try to give it back.
Well, I love the tactics. I love your mindset. I love your communication. I love what you're doing. It's very on I do think it's the future. AI personal brands line them both up. Not too many people are still doing it, which is shocking.
Mhm.
So there's a huge opportunity now to do it and be ahead of the curve before everyone catches up to you, just like
Mhm.
anything. Is there anything we missed in the conversation that you feel strongly to bring up?
That's a good question. I really think that I love how we touched on limiting beliefs. Um, because there's a mindset to social media. I would love for people to consider the beliefs that they have about social media. Like I'm the same as everybody. I hate social media. As much as I love it,
Mhm.
I hate it too. I hate that we're constantly being programmed. I hate how addictive it is, especially for our children. And I'm not a fan of like I have dopamine withdrawals
Mhm.
when I end my day because I do spend a lot of time on social media for work.
Yeah.
So I agree with everybody. My long-term goal is to get off social media one day. But in the short term, I don't think there's a bigger opportunity right now than building a personal brand because it insulates you. If you're a white collar worker and you work with your brain and you type, you're probably going to be changing careers in some way.
Yeah.
I don't think AI is going to replace everybody, but it's massively going to displace everybody. And so be learning about AI, be staying up to date. One of the ways you can do that is by building a personal brand that ebbs and flows with your interests and your pursuits and allows you to take your career in the direction that you want. Um, I'm a big lifestyle design, financial freedom person.
Mhm.
Obviously, we all are. Um, I can't think of a better way to build a system of lifestyle design than by way of content. Because, for example, there's a creator named Greg Eisenberg. He's a guy, he founded a company called Idea Browser. He has 500,000 subscribers on X, Startup Ideas Podcast, 1 million subs on YouTube. He's a massive AI entrepreneurship creator. I wanted to work with him. I thought he was cool. I liked his team. I knew he ran an agency. And I was like, man, I want to work with him. He's got so many followers and subs. He's not going to read a resume. If I cold email him just a text based thing written by ChatGPT, he's not going to read it or be interested in it. So, what I did was I created a reel promoting his business. Doesn't matter. I can promote any business I want to. No one needs to know that I don't have a brand deal with them. So I built a business in 90 seconds, just like how I would do it. And I used Idea Browser. I sent it to, or I posted it. It got 100,000 views, 5,000 ManyChat email addresses. So I sent him an email. Hey, here's 5,000 leads of people that are interested in Idea Browser. I'd love to work with you guys. Let's get on a call. He booked a call with me that week. None of that would have been possible without me getting over the limiting beliefs of like being worried to click post, but also just the power of social media to get me that opportunity to get in front of a business owner or someone I want to work for. So I'm obviously biased, but very bullish on the power of a personal brand. And I think it's an endeavor worth pursuing if you are a communicator and feel like you want to pursue this yourself.
Yeah, there's a lot of negatives with social media, but there's so many positives too. Like we July 1st, there was a huge rainfall in Ottawa.
Yeah.
We got flooded and I was, downstairs trying to get the water out and my wife posted on social media, "Hey, like we're getting flooded. Anyone that has something, just message me." Something meaning portable sump pumps, whatever it is. and people just started DMing us, being like, "Hey, can we help? Bring this over, bring that over," and we were able to save our basement because of just the community and help. And I was just like, I don't think I would have thought. Now I would have thought of like, hey, yeah, you give for me, I give free everything, right? But then like it's okay to ask. It's okay
More
to,
than okay.
like, and she did that, and I'm like, wow, there is a power to social media in a whole different way.
Hmm.
Because calling someone, texting someone, they're not there. Now you don't know who's available. You don't know if the person you're texting is having the same issue, but if you post it and there's 500 people that are seeing it, it's in your community, you can have a few people that can come and help. So from a posting perspective,
Hmm.
the 30-day, if we stay on the 30-day trial, you're doing 2 posts, 2 reels a day.
Yeah. Well, I do a meme and a talking head video.
Okay, a meme is just like a picture.
Yeah. So essentially it's like a little video. Like, the other day I shared what ReadyCut is. It's the first I'd been talking about it, but I hadn't shared it. And I told a story that, content creators are sick of dealing with editors,
Yeah.
respectful
Yeah.
to editors,
Yeah.
great people, nightmare to deal with.
Right.
All the collaboration things I
Yeah.
talked about. So I did a reel.
And they don't have tools in place to make it easier for them. Like it's
No,
not it's the
they're
process.
they're downloading,
Yeah.
uploading the same
Yeah.
as us. They're
Yeah.
frustrated with the entrepreneur who's nitpicky.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
we're all in the same boat. So I created a meme like this, and it's just it's a bunch of soccer coaches cheering a goal, and it's founders when they see they don't need to work with freelance editors anymore.
Right.
So this is again into my strategy. This is in the nitty gritty, but like talking head is a good format, but it's a minute long. It's 30 seconds to a minute long. People don't have the patience to listen to you. So if someone's like really impatient or they're not interested in the topic that I'm listening to, they'll read that meme. That meme took them 3 seconds to read. Now they know what I'm talking about. So I share a meme with every talking head to complement like the long form, which is long on social media is like a minute, with a really short form brand building thing that brings people into my universe. One of my memes got 50,000 views.
Right.
They're very sendable, like you'll send your wife, your friends memes, right? So this is getting my profile in other people's hands. So that's why I use memes and I build a brand around that.
So memes and the talking head.
Yeah.
How about stories?
I do share stories. I always share my own posts as stories. And then stories are a great way to middle funnel. So like where, if you're going deep with someone on your story, if you get a talking head video, that's top of funnel. You bring someone in, they've clicked follow. Now they watch your story. This is where you can explain more about, you have a bit more time with them. They're reading your stories. They might see what you're sharing. Everything doesn't have to be as high quality and curated. Stories can be off the cuff and quick. And so stories are a great way to middle funnel. So for that reason, I do try to share as many stories as possible. But in this time, I'm all in on the actual posts because I'm trying to grow wide, not go deep on people yet.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. So the top of funnel is the reels, and then the stories are the middle funnel, get deeper, connecting.
People fall in love with you on stories. There was a woman that I worked with out of Montreal named Sonia Zarbatani, and she was a master or is a master at this. Now she is the more traditional influencer. She's showing her life. She's showing her food, her kids, her car, her business. She's always talking about what she's doing. And what she does in stories is she does Q&As where people can literally type in that question box and she'll answer it. She goes on lives in stories where she literally will one-on-one chat with people. You can come off mute and ask them questions. Her stories she always said this, and she was brilliant for this. Your posts are where you bring people in, your stories are where they fall in love with you. And when people fall in love with you, they'll continue to follow you. They'll support your projects. They'll buy from you. They'll tell others about you. So she utilizes a great story strategy. It's very natural to her. I'm not on the same level in regard to my interest because I'm not doing that more traditional influencer style. So I'm 1 or 2 stories here and there.
Well, I've used over 2 hours of your time.
There we go,
I
man.
appreciate it so much. We have a closing tradition where I ask if you left a sticky note on your first laptop before you ever got started, what would it say?
Started in like in a career or in content? Okay. Oh man. I would say it's someone said it before me, but action and suffering.
Oh,
So my first laptop was at a job that I hated. I think that's everybody's experience.
mhm,
Not everybody.
yeah,
God bless the ones who
yeah.
have a first job they love. But we go to university, we learn something, we feel pressure to work in that industry. We get there, and it's not all we hope for. Um, so I hated it. I didn't hate the people. I just hated the clothes. I hated that I had to start at 9, stay till 5. I didn't love the work, and I stayed in it for too long. Not long, but longer than I should have. And my favorite quote in life is action and suffering. Um, Whatever it is you want to do, or if you want to leave something, get something new, join something, whether it's a relationship, a job, a new body, a new travel destination, new life, action and suffering, meaning just start doing something.
Mm.
Get moving, get your health right, take action towards that goal, and the world will align around what it is you want. So, action and suffering would be what I would write.
I love this conversation so much, and I mentioned it before. Keep doing what you're doing. Like,
Thank you.
have fun doing it. I think you're onto something on both ends. I've been preaching it for the last year, and the fact that you're doing it, makes me happy as an entrepreneur to another entrepreneur and to a Canadian to another Canadian, right? I think getting that message out there of this is it. This is the way of the future. So it's either you get on board or it's going to be it's going to be different in the next couple of years with AI coming so quickly. If people wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, my DMs are open. So at Martin Deza, MartinDeza. I read every single one. Um, that might not be for long,
Mm,
but I'm happy to. I'm happy to, engage people in real life. If you are local to Ottawa, I go to Shopify Builder Sundays every week.
mm,
That's how we were connected through Sherry. I'm always looking to do networking events. I'm always looking to attend events. I'm an open book. I try to give everything, even advice, if I can, for free, and vice versa. I'll probably ask for some advice based on what you do, especially you, David.
mm,
I own a rental property.
mm,
I'm new to following your content,
mm,
but I want you to know that your content matters and it's strong. Even if you might see only 1,000 views and you're not pumped about it,
mm,
those 1,000, I was one of those 1,000 views, and I learned something about Canadian tax
mm,
or corporate tax rate as a Canadian. Everybody's talking about moving to the US, and you're one of those few people saying all the advantages you have as a Canadian. And that's awesome. So, um, yeah, my DMs are open. If anyone wants to get in touch, I'm happy to listen. My email address is in my bio. You can also email me. But don't hesitate to reach out. I'm really happy to help anyone at any level. And I love meeting people. I'm an extrovert. So love to meet in person.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.